Are we on? Oh, jeez. Okay, we're on. All right. Do I have enough charge? Oh, I'm going to be good. Okay. I was just waiting for the plow to plow my street because I'm stuck here. I'm stuck in my driveway in my minivan. See it? It was just raining. And then just a little while ago, it started snowing, these big flakes. I'm just going to show you. So here I am. My phone keeps shutting off. So I'm like, okay, I'll just sit in the car, and I'm just, because I'm going to have to drive to go do the Zazoo report. Oh, here comes the plow again. Look at this. Now it's like little hail droplets. Look at that. It's ice. Look at that. Wow. Well, it's like ice, little snowflakes. Look at that. Little snowflakes in my hand. All right, that's enough of that. Oh, come on. Oh, here comes the plow again. So I'm stuck in my driveway. I got to go out, do a couple things. I figure, well, I just wrote this up. I might as well do it in the car. So we'll see how it comes out. So, yeah. Zazoo Plazz. Oh, Leslie Billito Placzek. Zazoo Plazz. January 28th, 2024. I almost said 2026. I'm going to put my glasses on. 2024. Because I have to see it. I don't really look at my notes, but I kind of see them. So I'm just going to sit here and look at the pretty ice. Oh, look. I do my Zazoo report. It's kind of weird. I was thinking this week, musing on the fact of how I pronounce my name. Because, you know, I've been challenged by people. I've been made to think by people on social media. I'm like, I posted something about, they have these donut things this time of year called Paczkis. They're, before Lent they have them for like Fat Tuesday, but the Thursday before Fat Tuesday that they call like Fat Thursday, I guess, in Poland or something. And they have these, they're like donuts, but they're a little poofier, kind of, like little pillows with like jam stuffed inside or whatever. And I just made a random comment about, my husband had always said how his name, Placzek, and it's pronounced Placzek, apparently, in Poland. But we always said Placzek. So he said it's like the letters in the donuts, Paczki. It's Paczki. And his name is spelled Placzek. So it's very similar. So this woman from Poland, you know, she starts in how, you know, oh, you Americans, you know, you like, you know, you pronounce, everything is mispronounced and you don't keep, you know, the diphthong or whatever. She threw diphthongs at me. Diphthongs. My mind goes to very strange places when I say that word. Diphthong, it's a grammatical thing. So apparently it's like little syllables, you know, like ch or z or ch, whatever. So she goes up and she's like, oh, the best kind is the rose jam. I'm like, no, my kid, my oldest son, came home with a box of Paczkis, lemon ones, because that's what they had at the Big Y or the ShopRite or whatever. And the lemons, I love lemon in the spring. Lemon is my favorite. So she said, oh, it's going to have like orange peel on it. I'm like, oh, no. So anyway, he ate like most of the box, and then he leaves us like one to split, you know. That's my son, the Virgo. Anyway, so, you know, I'm reading the scriptures. I got to get to it. So far, so good. Okay. It's still hailing out. So I figure, well, I got to go up. I'll make my ziti casserole, and then I'll do my Zazoo report, do my errands. So I'm standing at the kitchen sink making my ziti casserole, and all of a sudden I hear, don't know, no more, no more, no more, I don't care anymore, I don't care. And I said, it's Phil Collins' birthday, the 30th, January 30th. He's going to be 73. Oh, Phil Collins, man. The 80s, the mid-80s. Phil Collinsville. Nothing, it was all Phil Collins. It was his face, his ubiquitous face on every album cover. I remember being in Spain in like the summer of '85, and I got, I think it was No Jacket Required. Whatever the one, but you lost track if you hadn't already, because all of his albums had his face on them, his bald head and his face. And, my Gray, my former Plows here, he always said, oh, and I like Phil Collins because he's like so, full of himself. He said the same thing about Sting. Two of my favorite performers, by the way. So, but we have different opinions. I mean, I love that. I mean, what makes Phil Collins great is that he wasn't even aware that he was appearing that way. Apparently, I read some stuff about him, and that's how whoever was representing him just plastered him out there, and that just happened because people got sick of him. But isn't that the way though? And not to compare Jesus to Phil Collins, but I'm reading the Gospel of Mark today, where Jesus gets up. He gets up in the synagogue, right, on the Sabbath, which is Saturday, I guess, Friday, I don't know. Anyway, he gets up in the Sabbath, and he presents himself with authority, and he speaks, but he's channeling, God's words through him. And in the name of God, he's speaking, right? And, people are saying, oh, so there's this guy there, like at a political rally, there's always one speaking with unclean spirits, saying bad stuff. And so the demon in this person recognized Jesus and said, oh, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to drive me out? Yep. And people are like, oh, good, he did. He drove out that demon and on the Sabbath, it's just, so they're judging this miracle, this thing that happened by their past knowledge of things, which was, you mustn't do this on the Sabbath, and you mustn't do that, and you can't do that, and then they missed the whole point. They weren't present for the miracle. They weren't present for the signs, right? And this is happening today, right? So how does this come back to Phil Collins? Well, in a lot of ways. So part of the lyrics of the song, right? If you speak your truth in God's name, God will, so this was the first reading. It said, you speak, basically, if you speak your truth in God's name, what, God wants you to say, then, God, whoever doesn't listen to you, they'll have to deal with that. That's on them, right? God will make them account for that. But if someone, is speaking in some other name, and saying it's God, then that person is going to pay, right? So you've got to be a good listener and speak with intention, with sincerity, from your heart. How many times do we all just kind of just go? Is he gonna look at me now? Okay, I'm doing my Zazoo report in the driveway. All right, I'm okay. Okay. This is why I go to the woods. So, anyway, I'm almost done. So, yeah. So, he says, it's Phil Collins, I got nothing to lose if I speak my mind, right? In the song. He's saying, I don't care. We never played by the same rules anyway, okay? So these people go and talking about Jesus, back to Jesus. They're saying, oh, who does he think he is, and doing all this, and he's bad because he's not playing by these rules, right? He's saying, we don't play by the same rules, okay? Jesus wasn't playing by the same rules as the people of his time, right? They expected him to act a certain way. They expected him to conform to their societal, good. And you can't work miracles, and you can't show, you can't deliver a message this revolutionary and conform to people, stay in your little bubble, right? So Phil Collins is saying, I don't care anymore, because my voice is a little off. Get out of my way, right? Let me by. I got better things to do with my time. Recorded in 1982. Released February of 83. 41 years ago. 41 years ago! Second U.S. single from his second solo album. Hello, I Must Be Going. Hello, I Must Be Going. Get it? So, anyway. Yeah, so 1 Corinthians, Paul is saying, it's the one where he's saying married people are of the world. In other words, they answer to each other, right? The married man or woman wants to please their spouse, right? The unmarried person is out to please God, right? Is more devoted to that's why traditionally the, spiritual people or religious people didn't get, married, or some of them didn't, at least Catholics. God says to be free of anxiety and distraction. But it doesn't mean you can't be married. It just means that, where your attention goes, that's what thrives, okay? So it just means if you're running all over the place, you're not going to be able to hear God's purpose for you, messages. Like, I turn off all the radio and stuff, turn off my phone, turn off everything when I cook. And that's one of the times I get the biggest downloads, when I'm cooking, or sitting in my car in the sleet. All right. Well, I wasn't going to go out today. It's just too messy. So this song, all right, it was nominated for a Grammy in '84, but Michael Jackson won for Beat It. So, but both songs are kind of angry, Get out of my way, beat it, get out of here. That's what Jesus said to the unclean spirit. Get out of here, go. I don't care. Get out of here. He didn't care what the people said. He was standing in his authority. So the same thing, with Phil Collins. Phil Collins was going through some kind of, issue in his personal life. It was dark. It was that bum bum, bum bum, bum bum, bum bum. The guy's hitting the controls with his hand, It's rebellion. It's dark. It's moody, right? He's taken out he's expressing his feelings, about his first marriage or second marriage ending or whatever it was. And and so this is today. I mean, he expressed and got out through his music, through this tone of, very, very little guitar, very little else except the drums. Bum bum, bum bum, bum bum, bum bum. But it's kind of like the heartbeat, right? It's the beat of Gaia, of Mother Earth. It's the beat of, nature, and of anger, and of, rebellion. That's kind of like very, very Aquarius, very Uranian. Just all of a sudden, choo, Uranus, the planet Uranus. It's in Taurus. And there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with Uranus, and impacting other. Well, you can consult any astrology report, but I understand it. But I'm not as good as explaining all the details. But what I do know is, it's a time. It's a time of generational planets moving. The outer ones. Shovel in the driveway. Anyway, I'm determined to finish this, even if it's a short one today. So it's angry, but he's sincere about it, right? So the same thing goes for us today. It's what don't you care about anymore? Because I know there's some things I don't want to add my energy to by even thinking of them or speaking about them to other people, right? Because that's how you give life to things that you don't want to give life to, right? I can talk about music because that gives me life. I can talk about Phil Collins. I like Phil Collins. I can talk about Jesus and the Bible in a very detached kind of way, because that's kind of, I've been a Catholic my whole life, so, and I still get inspiration from the Bible. Doesn't mean I don't value other people's, ways of getting inspired, but I do honor that it helps me at this moment. Music and, ancient readings, not religious, but, the words of Jesus, they do motivate me. They do inspire me. And, as do pop songs. So, I put them in the context of my life right now. It's not like I'm living in 1983. Although 1983 is as real as, there is no time in the universal sense. So, I live in the moment, but I do get messages from songs that were around in the past, right? Or maybe sometimes I get messages from the future, but I don't know it's the future because I haven't lived it yet. But anyway, it's fascinating. Very Aquarian, these themes. So yeah, in honor of Phil Collins' birthday, I thought I would dive into this a little. I think he's a typical of his generation, influenced by the Beatles and all that, the 60s and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of them of his generation, the baby boomers, there's this sort of an unconscious sense that they were appearing, at least to those of us who followed them, as sort of involved, like everything was about them. But now they realize it. It's like they didn't realize it before. But we Gen Xers who've always been following behind them, we saw it very clearly, because we get drowned out, and then those who followed us, we get drowned out a lot. And, now we're getting to the point where, we didn't play the same rules as the other generations, right? But now we have nothing to lose by speaking our minds because we have things to say, and, people might still tune us out, but we're listening to ourselves. We're feeling fine with ourselves now because, we've done things right. We've done things our way, and it's not such a bad way. And we have things to get off our chest, and now we have a forum of other Gen Xers to speak to. Nothing against any of the other generations. It's just that we've given our energy away our whole lives. We've been serving other people, at least us early Gen Xers, in various ways, we conformed. We had to survive. But then at the same time, we had to come up with stuff, new ways to do things that hadn't been done before, simply because we couldn't do it the old way, and the old way wasn't working. So some of us had to go, maybe some of us need to do this a little differently, which is where I come in, Zazoo Plazz. So I'm going to continue to use, the name Placzek. I'm going to pronounce it Placzek because Plazz rhymes with Zaz, and that's my name, Zazoo. That's my French childhood nickname. It's a long story, but yeah. So I get better things to do with my time. Like sit here in the car in the cold, and I want to start the heater up because I'm freezing. Is he almost done clearing the driveway? Oh, good. I can back out now. Okay. So yeah. So it's still snowing. I'm gonna go do my errands and come back and have my nice ziti casserole that I made for myself. Put my gloves on. So yeah, pretty good today. My youngest kid's on his way home from Vermont. He went up there to celebrate his girlfriend's birthday. She was feeling bad because she wasn't going to be home with her family in Connecticut. So he went up there. He took one of our cars, left his Miata at home, and so he's driving home in this. So I hope he has a safe trip. And I might be moving. I found myself a little place, and I'm moving out. Just down the street, not very far. Still in Connecticut. Still gonna do my Zazoo reports. I don't know if I'll still be here next week or there in the new place, but I'll make it work. I'll find a tree somewhere, and I'm gonna be around lots of nice woods and trails, so that'll work. So until next week, yeah, I don't care. It is what it is. Till next week, stay warm, stay cozy, and speak your truth. And do some drumming in honor of Phil Collins' birthday. Till next week, Zazoo Plazz signing out. Take care.